I don't know how this will turn out. I'm not looking at the computer screen right now. This is the new interface that I did a printed circuit board for. I'll show some other views of it later. Here I'll be attempting to just get some audio of it in use. I've got it hooked up to this keyer, and so this keyer is keying it. And of course I can't send in this position. I had to turn things around to get the lighting from outside. So right now this interface is connected to the iCW server, and I've got a laptop computer. So that's this computer sending, and the other computer that's also logged in, I have the tones set differently. So that was the one computer. So just like the keyers, it has volume controls for the local side tone and the received audio from the server. It's got a tone control here. And the range is roughly 600 to 700 hertz. I of course like it on the low side, so I'll leave it there. It has an internal speaker. There's a feed through for the input key, so if the keyer is connected to this device, and if you connect a rig to this device also, then when you turn this on, it will key the rig as well as keying the interface. And of course a speaker for internal audio. The headphone jack is on the back. I'll attempt to get a video showing the keyer disconnected to give a clearer picture of what it consists of. But for now, I'll see if this part of the video is going to turn out at all. This is the interface. It has 4 volume or level controls. There's the received audio volume, so that's the iCW volume. There's the side tone volume, so that's the local side tone. There's the actual tone frequency, which is roughly 600 to 700 hertz. And there's the drive level, which goes up to several volts peak to peak. Usually enough to drive any sound card I've ever used. So that's the top panel with the controls. There's the internal speaker here, and the 3 switches, the power switch and the switch to control if the key line is passed through to the rig or not. So the keyer connects to this. We'll see the connector on the back, and the key line can also be continued on to a rig, and then an internal speaker if you just want to use headphones. The back panel cutout has all of the connectors that are printed circuit warnings, and printed circuit mounted. I was just reading a temperature warning on my computer and added the word warning in here. The connectors, there's the key in and the key out that are both RCA connectors. The 2 audio cables to the sound card are both standard 1/8 inch stereo type jacks. One for input to the interface, one for output to the sound card. The DC connector is a 5.5/2.1 millimeter standard connector. There's a jack for the speaker. It's wired. It's actually a stereo jack, but it's intended to be used with mono plugs, so only the tip is wired. The ring has no connection. And there's a stereo phone jack. Both of these 2 jacks are again standard 1/8 inch jacks. So the connectors are all mounted on the printed circuit board, and I'll open that up. So see if this will show up. Not sure how good the lighting is for this. You can see the hypermite, which is plugged into the printed circuit board. I'm going to probably have to do this. I think the lighting is just too dark. Trying to see it on the screen. See if I improve it a little bit. A little hard to get the lighting correct. So there is a main printed circuit board that has all of the pots and I/O connectors on it. It also has the 555 tone oscillator, and then it has headers for plugging the hypermite filter in. Not much else to see there. Trying to get a little, just too hard to get too many reflections with the lights. But there's very little internal wiring. That was the purpose of the printed circuit board. All of my iCW keyers have way too many internal cables between the circuit boards and all the pots and I/O connectors. So I wanted to try to clean that up a little bit. The actual circuit boards, go ahead and see if I can get one in here. This is the bare printed circuit board. See if autofocus is working at all there. Seems to be working a little bit. So you can see there are places for the 555 and resistors and capacitors and transistors and the 5-volt voltage regulator. Most of those parts are underneath the hypermite, and the 4 pots and the I/O connectors take up most of the printed circuit board space. And of course not much to see on the back side. I did not try to do a careful layout, but I did have to work carefully to try to get the footprints for all of the pots and connectors. And they all worked out okay. I have a few traces that are a little too close in the lower right hand corner down here. There's a trace and a resistor. Let's see if I can get R8 to show up there, that are a little too close to that mounting hole, but wasn't too difficult to assemble and avoid shorts. So that's about it. If I can find out how to stop this recording. There it is.